to the League of Women Voters of Snohomish County Forum for Candidates for Snohomish School Board Director, position number 4. I'm Sue Renhard, member of our league. This forum is being live streamed to our league YouTube channel. To those in the virtual space, thank you for joining us. We refer to these primary forums as virtual doorbelling. We will ask a short series of questions, the kind of questions you might ask if a candidate came to your door. Our questions are designed to give you a clear idea of each candidate's experience and the issues they believe are important to address. A recording of the forum will be available on the same YouTube channel for later viewing. Let me provide some background on the position. School district directors set policies on curriculum, such as books, dress codes, and disciplinary actions. They hire superintendents and set district budgets. They work with teachers, administrators, parents, and community members to support all aspects of K-12 education. Candidates for Snohomish School District Director, position 4, are Sarah Adams, Sherri Larkin, and Monica Weber. The League thanks all the candidates for running for office, for their willingness to serve the community if elected, and for participating in this forum. It is the policy of the League to be nonpartisan. Therefore, we neither endorse nor oppose candidates or parties. We do take positions on issues which we have studied and on which we have reached consensus. The rules for participation were sent ahead of time to all participants, and they have agreed to engage in respectful communication throughout the forum. Let me briefly explain the question and answer period rules, and then we can begin. I will pose the questions and will clearly state the amount of time allowed for each answer. We are using a countdown timer visible to all candidates, and time limits on answers will be strictly enforced. I will change the starting order of each question, alternating candidates in the starting position to ensure a fair sequence. The order for the first question will be Monica Weber, Sarah Adams, and Sherri Larkin. Let's begin. Candidates will have 2 minutes to respond to this first question. We start with Ms. Weber. The question is, what are the major issues you feel need to be addressed by this office? Please explain why you are focusing on these issues. You will have 2 minutes. Ms. Weber, please begin.
Well, a school director in Washington makes a commitment to equity, student success, and community engagement. So I'll address these 3 mandates and some of the issues that come up associated with them. So regarding equity, all students deserve great schools regardless of their neighborhood. And across the district, they need equitable access to courses and curricular materials that are flexible enough to meet their various academic and social needs, as well as equitable programs that meet a wide range of student interests. These are driven by state and district goals. So student success in learning shouldn't be measured by 1 or 2 standardized tests or used to determine the effectiveness of schools. Though test results can be useful to indicate areas that may need more instructional focus. So in addition to rigorous and relevant teaching and inclusion in the learning process, students need to feel safe and have a sense of well-being and belonging to thrive and succeed. This has become even more of a focus since COVID. Family involvement is also key to student success. And segueing into that issue, research shows that where families and communities are engaged in education, students attend school more regularly, they perform at higher levels, and have increased emotional well-being. So there are many successful family engagement programs that remove obstacles to involvement, such as a time of day or languages, and have strategies to support families and students. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Adams.
Hi, I'm Sarah Adams. I'm currently a Snohomish School Board Director. The major issues that I feel the school board needs to address are ensuring our schools are providing a high quality education to students, ensuring fiscal responsibility, prioritizing student and staff well-being, and strengthening the district's partnerships with families in the community. It's critical to provide high quality teaching and high expectations for student achievement. We know that many students got behind academically during COVID, and so we need to provide the resources and support necessary to help kids catch up. This should include providing targeted interventions for the students who are struggling the most, such as the summer academy that the school district is offering this summer. We need to ensure that the district is operating in a transparent and fiscally responsible manner. One of the school board's main responsibilities is to establish and oversee the district's budget. Many districts in our area have experienced budget shortfalls, which have led to difficult decisions to lay off staff and teachers and cut programs. I'm very proud that the Snohomish School District is on solid financial footing and will be able to maintain our staffing levels and even add staff members where they are needed. I believe that we need to prioritize staff and student well-being. Students and staff need to feel safe and supported. We need to cultivate a culture of belonging and address anything that's getting in the way of student learning. The board should expand opportunities for students to participate in activities that help them feel connected. Finally, the school board should work to strengthen partnerships with families in the community. Educating our kids requires us to work together. Parental and community engagement leads to stronger schools. In order to be successful, the district needs to focus on ways to improve communication with families in the community and gather more feedback from families and community members.
Thank you. Ms. Larkin.
Good evening. I'm Sherri Larkin and I'm running for Snohomish School Board District 4. My top two issues are quality education and parent partnership. Quality education, I believe we need to focus on core academics, math, reading, and writing. I would like to see, I believe, strong foundations in math, reading, and writing will help students gain the skills they need for moving further into the future as they go on to their K through 12 journey. When students have a strong foundation, particularly in reading, the youngest students, when they have a strong foundation, they then can excel as they move on. It's critical that they have those learning foundations. Right now, our students are testing and 40% are not proficient in the English learning assessments. And that begins with that core curriculum in the youngest students. I believe skills can be grown in those areas if we work on proficiency of systematic proven approaches to decoding language development for the youngest students. As an elementary teacher, I had an opportunity to work with young students, and even those that have learning struggles can learn to read well. Snohomish students are also struggling in math and science, with over 50% not proficient in those areas. So I think we need to focus on core academics. I also have seen the value of partnering with parents. It makes a difference. I've learned as a teacher that when we work with our parents, we can support our students to achieve all that they have.
Thank you. Candidates will have 90 seconds for the next two questions. Timer, please adjust the clock. This question will go first to Ms. Adams. What qualifications and experience make you a good choice to address these issues? Ms. Adams?
First of all, I'm a mother of two children who attend public school in the Snohomish School District. I'm the only member of the school board and the only candidate in this race who currently has children enrolled in the district. I'm invested in the outcome of board decisions because they directly affect my children and their education. Having children in school also gives me unique insight into what's happening in schools. I've been on the school board for almost a year, During my time on the board, I visited every school, spoken with teachers, staff, and students, and worked to address issues affecting students, such as ensuring a sustainable budget and addressing student safety and the academic and social emotional needs of students. I've been very involved in the district and have volunteered weekly in my children's classrooms. I was on the Citizens Facility Advisory Committee from 2018 to 2019, which visited district facilities, evaluated their conditions, and made a recommendation for how needs should be prioritized. I was also on the Strategic Planning Committee, which rewrote the district's mission and vision statements and developed core values and commitments which will guide the direction of the district over the next 5 years. I've spent my entire career working with children and families. I'm a licensed mental health counselor who applied to be on the board last year after seeing firsthand the impact of the pandemic on my own children and the children I work with.
Thank you. Ms. Larkin.
Hi. Well, I'm a 22-year resident of Snohomish School District. My husband and I have raised our 5 children here, and I was an elementary teacher for 14 years. I've homeschooled my children for 5 years. I currently substitute teach at a private school and privately tutor. I know how to effectively write lesson plans, research curriculum, and work with classroom management techniques, and also with administrators. As a teacher, I worked closely with parents for an outcome that's successful for both students and their families. I've been involved with my kids with extracurricular activities like advising for future business leaders, and then Cookie Tuesday as a support with Glacier Peak football. About a year and a half ago, I took a class on school government that renewed my interest in education and built my passion for school policy, school finances. I've been actively involved in attending board meetings, speaking on behalf of community members and parents. And also I was involved in the application process for the appointment last August. And I thoroughly have enjoyed getting to know the school board members as well as the superintendent. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Weber.
I'm glad you asked this question. I was an educator for 42 years, all of them in public schools except 2, and 29 of those in Snohomish. Here, I taught at every grade level, K through 12, in 7 buildings across several different subjects, and even coached a bit. So this gave me a distinctive perspective on the demographics, the differences, and needs in the district. Some of my experience involved administering those standardized tests, teaching about mental health in my high school health classes, and partnering with parents and students in the interest of their success at all grade levels. I'm also the parent of 2 adult children who attended Snohomish schools K through 12, as well as a proud grandparent of 2 future Panthers. And as a parent and teacher, I saw varying levels of parent involvement as students progress through the grades. Parent involvement tends to decrease at the secondary level, though some students need more support on the home front than others. In addition, I have a master's degree in curriculum, instruction, and assessment, and know how to use it. Thank you.
Thank you. And beginning with Ms. Larkin, councils, commissions, and boards are required to deliberate and make decisions in public and to hear from those whose ideas may differ. Please give us an example that demonstrates your ability to work in this way. You will have 90 seconds. Ms. Larkin?
Okay, this is an interesting question. I have an oldest son who went to the United States Naval Academy in Annapolis. When he joined, I joined something called the Washington State Parents Club. At the time, the club leadership had been there for many years. But when new club members came in, there was not opportunity for them to participate in decisions or directions. National leadership actually asked that club leadership to step down, and I was elected as the new president. The parent club serves to support the students, the midshipmen, and the parents. When you send a student off to a military academy, they're no longer your property, they're property of the government. And it's a new place for parents. So what we do as the parent club is we support by sending care packages, by in-site, on location pizza parties, as well as balls and galas locally to bring parents and students together. What happened in my time is that not everyone agreed with this big shift that took place in that club, but I was able to take time to lead local meetings, events, and to teach parents how to support their midshipmen, and the success of the club continued on. It was really a personal opportunity of being challenged with many different personalities, like I said, who didn't agree after an upheaval of some leadership. So I appreciate that opportunity to try that again.
Thank you. Ms. Weber.
Have you ever been to a union membership meeting during contract negotiations? Well, I have, and presided over a few as union president. So there are hundreds of people there, and always someone who disagrees with what's on the table or wants to disrupt the process. So I listened, validated differing perspectives, and sometimes had to point out that there were others who wanted to speak. After all was said, the vote would be taken based on what they'd heard. I always made sure that everyone had the opportunity to speak and share their perspectives, and always left the meeting feel that the members had been heard and respected. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Adams.
As a school board director, I've made myself available and accessible to anyone in the community who has wanted to meet with me or share their thoughts, ideas, or concerns. I've valued these conversations and the input that I've received from community members. I think it's important to listen to and seek to understand all perspectives when making a significant decision. As a school board director, I've strived to be open-minded and willing to learn from others. One example that demonstrates this comes from my time on the district's strategic planning committee. During one of our meetings, there was significant disagreement about the wording that we wanted in our strategic plan. I felt strongly in favor of one option, but saw that others felt equally strongly on the other side. I wanted to better understand more about why these other committee members felt so strongly about the wording they supported. So I invited another member of the committee, a teacher in the district, out for coffee, and she graciously agreed. I asked her to help me understand her perspective. She shared very compelling reasons for why she supported the wording that she did. And I left that coffee shop not only having been persuaded to change my position, but also feeling that I now had much greater insight into ways our district could improve.
Thank you. Timer, please note that candidates will have 60 seconds for the final question. We will start with Ms. Weber. The question is this: please tell us something about your life experience that might surprise or intrigue voters. Ms. Weber?
My students always got a kick out of this one. So I can probably still old Volkswagen Bug using my trusty manual for the complete idiot. So I used to have a red, white, and black 62 with the original 6-volt system, and adjusted the valves, changed the oil, set the gap of the spark plugs, and could set the timing by cranking the flywheel backwards very slowly until I heard the click. I commuted from Gig Harbor to Renton in it for 3 years and finally decided that I'd be safer in an F-150 pickup, but not before driving the Bug across the country and back one summer. And since I have a little bit more time, I want to thank the League of Women Voters for giving us this opportunity to speak.
Thank you. And Ms. Adams, same question.
During college, I interned at a homeless shelter for women and children in downtown Seattle. After college, I worked at the shelter for over 5 years. I learned so much while working there that I've carried with me since then. Certainly, I learned about the impact that trauma has on individuals and families, which motivated me to go to graduate school and pursue a career as a therapist working with children and families who've experienced trauma. But I also learned about the resilience of the human spirit and what a difference it makes for a person when they feel a sense of belonging and have people around them who believe in them and offer the resources and support to help them attain the goals that they never thought were possible.
Thank you. And Ms. Larkin?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about community service. I married someone in the Navy. It brought me from rural New York to Washington State. So I learned to be a Navy wife and what community service meant as a military wife. I have 2 sons currently military officers, and one of them, when they were stationed here local, we supported the family. The family was also military, and my son was deployed. I've got a daughter in West Africa who also serves in a very different way as a foster mom for 3 children. I want to mention what I've learned there. In West Africa, things are very different, and they put an emphasis on relationship. And what I've learned is that community service isn't just task-oriented like we often see in the United States, but relationship is just as important. So on the school board, I intend to work with relationship as well as the tasks.
Thank you. The League appreciates all these candidates for joining us and for running for office. A recording of this forum and others will be available on the League of Women Voters of Snohomish County website and YouTube channel. Find links at lwvsnoho.org. Again, that is lwvsnoho.org. We encourage you to explore additional information about these and all candidates. The Snohomish County voter pamphlet will be mailed to residences starting July 12th. Primary election ballots will be mailed starting July 13th, and Election Day is August 1st. Please be a voter. Thank you to our League Candidate Forum team, and special thanks to Dave Moon and the Sultan School students at turkpride.tv who made this live stream possible. And of course, thank you all for joining us. This concludes our candidate forum.